I'm going to be honest here. What you see in 2020 is very different from what you've seen in years past. This was supposed to be our bye week. And that all got thrown in because of COVID, and everybody's having to deal with it. I think there's now about 10 or 12 teams within the past couple of weeks that have gotten their schedules thrown around, or maybe they haven't practiced in a couple of weeks, and it's been really tough. However, this does not excuse our loss today. The loss of the New England Patriots. I know some of you guys in the comments are like, "What are you saying? We or our or possessive now?" I've been a Patriots fan for a long time. All right. Patriots lose to the Broncos 18-12. This game was death by field goals and terrible play. The Denver Broncos did not score one touchdown. That red zone defense, if there's one compliment I'm going to say about this entire game, one compliment, it's that our red zone defense, impeccable. One of the greatest. Still one of the greatest defenses in the NFL. But our offense didn't show up until the fourth quarter, and then when we were given not one, but two opportunities. 2 interceptions. One of them we took down to the field for a touchdown, and then I do agree with calling. Now, I would usually agree with calling a 2-point conversion on that play, but in this case, you go for the extra point. You're only down 18-10, and then you go for it, but that didn't even matter at the end of the game. And N'Keal Harry, I've been a big fan of you since we drafted you. I was a big believer in you. And now we have guys like A.J. Brown on the Tennessee Titans who do much better than you, who was a third-round pick in that draft, who was a Patriots fan, who wanted to play with Tom Brady. He was a Patriots fan up until that draft when the Tennessee Titans drafted him. Sorry if my dog's getting in the way. That last play, the ball's short. You got to come up. You got to get the ball. We lost to a Broncos team that was just absolutely like, what? Like, just looking at that game, you think to yourself, this is the team? This is the team we have. You know, one of the things I keep thinking about is, at the trade deadline, we're going to have to get another pass catcher, because Edelman is going to get covered. We can't just throw to running backs all the time, because all we're going to get is 7 yards at max. We need a deep threat, and N'Keal Harry isn't a deep threat. Bird is like a 6th-rounder, and then we've got a bunch of young guys, and it's just like, okay, like, what are we doing with these young players? And then the turnovers. We can't have these many turnovers. You know, one of the first things is we drafted 2 tight ends in the 3rd round. They haven't seen one single pass to them. They've barely gotten any game time, as Belichick rather uses Ben Izzo again than the 2 guys we drafted in the 3rd round. And yes, I know our O-line was banged up. You know, I forget the guy's name because it's really long, but our 6th-round pick, who's been literally one of the best offensive linemen this entire season, gets knocked down late in the game, in the 2nd quarter. Shaq Mason was out due to COVID. Marcus Cannon is out for the year. He opted out. David Andrews has been out, so we've been starting Joe Thuney at center. And that's why we had the botched snap in the 3rd quarter, because we have literally a left guard playing center. We've had that for the past 3 weeks. This offensive line is really banged up. We had Adam Butler get an elbow injury. The same injury I had 3 weeks ago. Let me tell you this. That shit hurts a lot. So, the fact that he was out for the entire game doesn't really surprise me. I mean, if you look at my elbow, I can barely make it straight. It kind of hurts here. But for 2 weeks, I was in constant pain, dude. That shit hurts. All right? And then I'm just kind of thinking, okay, we've got here's the remaining schedule. We've already had our bye. Our bye was last week. So right now, here's the remaining schedule. San Francisco, they play tonight. They have not looked impressive. The only wins they've gotten have been at MetLife Stadium. Number 2, after that, we play the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are a very good football team. Sure, they play crap against the Tennessee Titans, but that was a Tuesday night game. They play the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow night. Who sees what happens? Guess what? If they're starting to slide, we better pounce. After that, we got the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium. The New York Jets are the worst team in football. If we lose, I will go batshit insane. After that, we have... Who do we have after that? Oh, yeah, that's right. The Baltimore Ravens. We have the Baltimore Ravens. Can we beat them? I don't really know. After that, week 12, we've got Houston, Arizona, the 2 games in LA, Miami again in Miami, and then our classic end of the year, Buffalo at home, the Jets at home. So, who knows how we're going to play this year? Because honestly, I've seen great games by Cam, by the offense. You know what? This week, we might just consider it a wash. If we get a full week of practice and a really good game against the 49ers, we can just throw the tape on this game. We can. We could throw the tape on this game. We could say, you know what? This game, it was weird. We didn't practice all week. They got to practice for 2 weeks. Whatever. It was a close game. We made it close. If N'Keal Harry makes a catch here, we win the game. So, I mean, okay. We could throw the film away. But for the past 2 games, there's been something holding us back. I wanted to go the whole thing of like, oh, we lost to the Seahawks and Chiefs. Well, now we lost to the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, if you could see out there, do they look like a team that could beat a lot of other teams? No. Their whole thing was play like the Jacksonville Jaguars of 2017 with a big running game with Philip Lindsay just going ham, and a defense that got 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, which is totally unacceptable. But guess what? We're moving on to next week against San Francisco. Hopefully we can get a win. Hopefully we can get fans in the stands. Please, I want people in the stands. Patriots are ready. We clearly need it. I don't care if it's only 7,500 fans. I don't care if it's even 750 fans. We just need some kind of noise, some kind of crowd support. And I think that if every other team in the NFL seems to be getting fans in the stands, I'm pretty sure we will. All right. See you guys next week.